wish I had fries. All right, let's go.
After you got injured, if you had medical bills to pay but no ability to work, how would you know that your insurance companies or the people responsible for your injuries are being fair to you? Then, trying to navigate the situation with traditional law for 9 years.
That was advertisements, bro. They caught me slipping. I thought that was a thing. Ah, yeah.
Was very close with my coworkers there, especially 2 females. The last few years I worked there, another female started working there. Let's call her M, and the 4 of us grew very close. She was very shy, but we got along well. However, she was often on sick leave because of her own mental health issues, but she was able to hang out with us after work. She told us that she had a history of schizophrenia, just like the patients we were treating, but that she was medicated and hadn't had any psychotic episodes for years. In the summer of 2023, I moved on to work at a new place, this time doing forensic psychiatry. The 4 of us stayed in touch. One day, M told us she had been evicted from her apartment because of an incident where she had accidentally entered her neighbor's apartment in the middle of the night. She told us that in the huge apartment complex, the doors all look exactly the same, and that she simply walked through the wrong door by accident, which made them call the police on her. I felt that sounded out of proportion to evict someone just from that, so
why your door open? Why your door open? Does that make any sense?
So I questioned her if something else happened, but she claimed that was the full story. In Sweden, it's very difficult to get a contract for an apartment when you have gotten evicted, so M asked me if she could move in with me. Since she was literally on the street, I took her in. Unfortunately, I live in a small, 1-bedroom apartment with 2 cats. We decided that M was going to stay in the living room, and she said she was fine sleeping on the couch. I hung up a curtain covering the entry to the hallway to give her some privacy. She wasn't working at this time, but I was, so I often had to get up at 6 a.m. I have
Exactly, bro.
Really severe insomnia, and even with sleep medication, I still wake up easily. I told her I would appreciate it if she would try to stay quiet those nights when I have to get up early. The first night together, M had been up several times that night to go out to smoke. I woke up every time. At 5 a.m., she started making coffee, and since it's literally outside my bedroom door, I was wide awake from the sounds of it. I asked her in the nicest way possible why she was up this early, like if she had any plans today, and she just said that she couldn't sleep. I gently reminded her I would appreciate it if she could wait on making the coffee until I was out of bed. Adding to why I need my sleep is that I have epilepsy that gets worse when I don't get enough sleep. I knew that I would probably get seizures at work now, meaning that this day would be both stressful and potentially dangerous. She said that she really wanted coffee with her cigarettes, but that she would try to wait the next time I have to work. I accepted it and went on with my day, but things didn't get better. She continued to wake me up early in the morning while promising she would stop. Even when I told her that the loss of sleep was literally severely affecting my health, she never respected that boundary.
Okay.
Not only was she disturbing my sleep, but she constantly ate all my food.
Dang.
She always apologized, but it was getting
Doritos?
expensive, and it would.
She ate through the Doritos. Look, she got nothing in there. She only got a cookie. What is that, like a ice cream sandwich, bro? I see wine. What the heck is that, bro? Jelly and milk? That's it? That's all you got in here, bro? What you be eating? She ain't got nothing in the crib, bro.
Really ruined my mood when the thing I was looking forward to eating all day was gone. Another thing, M had long, black hair that got everywhere. All over the sink, the floor, the bathtub, everywhere. She also left her fingernails and toenails on the bathroom floor. There were even drops of urine on the toilet seat every time she had been to the toilet. At first, I didn't want to say anything straight out, so I just put a broom and dustpan in the bathroom to imply that we needed to sweep the floor more often. This didn't seem to work, and after a while, I did have to mention it. M promised to help out, but nothing ever changed. After a few weeks of living together, I started dating someone. He was also in a roommate situation,
The Cheetos is gone.
so we had a tough time getting any alone time. I asked Em if we could get one night to ourselves every now and then. She claimed she had nowhere to go, no friends or family. I was just asking for a few hours so we could get some quality time together. She could just go to the library or take a walk or whatever, but she still got offended by the suggestion.
Wow.
At dinner together one night, one of our old coworkers realized that the situation was really tearing at my mood. She offered that Em could stay the night at her place. Em made a huge deal about it, but she eventually accepted it when I offered to trade it for a night to herself in the apartment the next week. When I came home the morning from my night away, I saw that my cat's water bowl was completely dried out. There was no spill on the floor, and I had filled it to the brim the night before. I asked her how this was possible, but she said that the cats must have tipped it. My cats are overly social and
Cap. She lying. She poured it out, bro. Yo, she starving the cats, bro.
usually cuddle up with strangers after just a few minutes, but I noticed that the cats withdrew from her more and more over time. And the last couple of weeks, they never left my bedroom except when they ate or used the litter box. Aside from that, I had this old saucepan from the 60s that meant a lot to me. It was my grandmother's and the only thing I have from her. Em burnt it one day and made no attempt to clean it. She just left it on the stove and went out to smoke. I found it ruined and cried. She didn't even apologize. It had probably been 2 months now, and she kept waking me up at night, kept binge eating my food, never cleaned, never left the house, scared my cats, and ruined my things. She even stole my—
Yo, she sound mad annoying. Don't leave the crib. She don't clean. She don't care about your stuff. She don't give you no privacy, bro, when you ask her to. Like, what's the... Oh, my goodness. I would have been like, get out of here. I would have been yelling at her, get out of here. Yo.
my prescription sleeping pills. Lots of them, and I only get one per night. I had 20 of them in my nightstand when I left for work, and when I came home, they were gone. She denied it, which is pretty hilarious since no one else could have been there. My frustration was getting heavy. The summer heat was strong, and I felt locked up in my tiny bedroom with my 2 cats while everything just kept building up. Then, my old classmate texted me on Facebook, asking,
Yo, 3 days and that's it. Like, she's wildin'. She waited that long. Like, I wouldn't even give you, like after the 2 times, after you ate my food the first time, it's over. Like, we're done. You gotta go. I'm sorry. Here's your rent. You gotta go, bro. You gotta go. You gotta get out of here. It's like, I don't have nowhere to place to go. You can't stay here, bro. You doing too much. You doing way too much.
me how I know Em when he saw I had posted on Facebook that we were roommates now. I told him that we were old coworkers and that she needed a place to stay because she got evicted. He asked if I understood why, and I told him what I knew, but he said that wasn't the full story. In reality, Em broke in and snuck up to their sleeping baby with a knife in her hand. Luckily, the father woke up in time and wrestled her to the floor. I felt sick to my stomach. I didn't want to believe it, but my friend had the full police report. It seemed that Em had a psychosis episode during the break-in, but those parts weren't public. It was, however, clear to me that she had been lying to me about what had happened, including her mental stability. I started getting quite paranoid now and wanted her to move out. We did, however, have a contract that she had 30 days notice. I knew that if I asked her in a harsh way, it would mean 30 days of chaos until she moved out. So I wanted to handle this as nicely as I could.
Yo, what would you do if you just heard that, bro? What would y'all do if someone just told you that she did all of that stuff and now she living with you? I would have threw this Gatorade bottle at her. I'm not gonna lie. This Gatorade bottle, it would be thrown. I'm sorry. She's wildin', bro. She is tweaking. Yo.
Sat her down and broke the news to her as respectfully and lovingly as I could, but she still looked crushed. I showed her a hostel I found and said that I understood it wasn't the ultimate situation, but I really needed her to move out because I felt suffocated. She said she was going to try to move out, but not until 30 days had passed, so I had to agree to that. The consequences came quickly. The first night after our talk, she got up and made her coffee at 2:30 a.m. I nearly had a mental breakdown because I couldn't fall back asleep. I asked her in the morning for probably the 10th time not to make coffee until I got up, but she didn't even answer me. She just sat on the couch and stared out the window. I called her name several times, but she kept staring. I got freaked out and just left for work. M's annoying behavior persisted and got increasingly worse, but I couldn't stop thinking about the incident with the baby and the knife. I eventually got so pissed off about being woken up by the coffee maker that I unplugged it and locked it in my car. It may be childish, but I was starting to feel I was going crazy. The very next night, I woke up at 4 a.m. by her making coffee in a saucepan. I tried talking to her again, explaining the situation, but she just stared and didn't reply. Me being frustrated and at my tipping point, I later took the saucepan and stored it in my car as well.
Yo, she got so much patience, bruh. Listen, I would have took my cat, my dog, a goldfish, and I would have stayed at my friend's house till the 30 days was up. Came back after the 30 days was up. Tell her, yo, you gotta go. She gets up and she goes. Like, after that, it's done. There's no talking. She waiting too long. She's doing too much. She's doing too much, bro. You're doing way too much. I'm getting fried chicken in a couple of minutes. I'm weak, bro.
The third night, I had the guy I was dating sleeping at our place because I was getting really paranoid over her weird behavior. I woke up from my very light snooze by him poking me and whispering at me to look at something. In the doorway, M was standing silently, staring at us. It was like a scene from a horror movie with her long, black hair over her face. I sat up and asked what she was doing, but before I could finish the sentence, she slammed the door shut. A moment later, I heard the sound of something metal falling on the floor and her running into the living room. I yelled at her to leave and started crying hysterically because this was turning into a nightmare. I couldn't go back to sleep, though I was really grateful that I had company that night. I just kept asking myself, had she done this before? The next day, when I got out of bed, I went out into the hallway and saw a kitchen knife on the floor. That was the metal sound I had heard before she ran off. I took all my knives and locked them in my car. I asked a friend of mine to come to my house and be here when I tell M that she has to move out immediately. During the conversation, I tried to stay calm. I know she has a mental illness, and I know she means no harm. Even though I was so frustrated, I couldn't hate her. I was mostly scared and tired. M, however, didn't even answer when I talked to her. She just kept staring out the window. She left the apartment and sent me a text instead saying that I was disrespectful for bringing a friend over to her place. Nighttime came and I thought this would be a quiet night finally, but at 3 a.m. I was woken up by her burning dry coffee powder in a frying pan. At this moment, I just felt terrified of her. Her face was dead, Her eyes were black. I suspected that she had gone into psychosis. I put out the fire, and she just ran off to the living room in silence. I knew she had an appointment with her psychiatrist the next day, so while she was away, I packed all her things. Then, I sent her a text telling her that she needs to pick them up and give me my keys back, and that I will give her money for a hostel the upcoming 26 days. She didn't reply. The guy I was seeing came to keep me company in case she would fight about it. Thankfully, she didn't. She gave us the keys without looking at us and left. Our old co-workers told me she moved in with a guy she was dating, and she stayed there for a few weeks until she somehow amazingly got an apartment of her own. M even started working again, and I was really happy to hear this. Then in January, one of our old co-workers told me M had called her and told her that everything must burn, that she has a baby she must save, and other delusional stuff. Her co-worker called to get her help, but they hadn't taken it seriously. M then proceeded to burn her entire apartment down because the voices in her head were telling her that she had to burn everything. Her neighbors tried to rescue her from the fire, but she fought them off and ran back in and poured liquor on the fire to make it burn more. She was arrested and sentenced last week for aggravated arson. She will serve her time in a mental institution for a long time, possibly forever. What's ironic is that she will probably be in the facility where I used to work and end up where she used to work herself. My old coworker was a witness at the trial. Apparently, M had stopped taking her medication because she thought that it made her feel numb, and she thought she was stable enough to function without it. Apparently not. She had also stopped taking her medication the last few weeks when she stayed at my house. So, those moments when she stared blankly into space, she was going into psychosis. When she burned the frying pan that last night, and when she stared at me with the knife in her hand. It's just...
Oh, nah. Yo, this is creepy, bro.
Disturbing to think about what would have happened to me and my cats if she stayed, or if I were a heavy sleeper. I also think about what would have happened to the baby in that apartment before she was evicted. The darkness I saw in her eyes in those final days is something I will never forget.